Michigan versus Alabama in a bowl game. It's not the bowl game maybe some of you expected early in the season. Thought it might be the college football playoff? Nope. It is the Citrus Bowl. The number 14 Wolverines will take on the number 13th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide in a game I see absolutely no upside for the Michigan Wolverines. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Want to show you the rankings, final rankings for Michigan for the regular season. College football top 25, the CFP top 25, number 14, while the AP poll had Michigan at number 17. Coaches poll also had Michigan at number 17. Michigan will face Alabama in a game, like I said, I don't see much upside for the Wolverines because if they play a full-strength Alabama, they will get their butts absolutely kicked. So I see this as a lose-lose scenario for Michigan. You play a full-strength Alabama, you get your butts kicked. If Alabama has a bunch of players sitting out this game, I think they could have as many as 7 guys who were opening day starters on offense sit, maybe, potentially, 3 wide receivers, a running back. Their quarterback obviously won't play, Tua Tagovailoa, and then a couple of offensive linemen. So I see this as a lose-lose scenario. If you think Michigan can go up against a healthy Alabama and win, I've got some up dog to sell for you down in the Florida Keys. If you want some of that up dog, ask me all about it later in the comment section. Give me your one-word reaction here live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports on Facebook and the Michigan Football Report YouTube channel. One-word reaction in the comment section. Mine is, son of a bitch, okay? That's what my one word is. If that's one word, I don't know what to say with that. Like, as I say, lose-lose scenario for Michigan. They're going to play in a January 1st game against a top-tier program, probably the first or second best program in all of college football, definitely the number 1 program over the last decade. They're going to play in Florida, but I see this as a 4th straight loss for Jim Harbaugh, and if Alabama has a bunch of players sit out, specifically on offense, and Michigan still loses to that team, what can you say about the talent gap between Michigan and the upper echelon programs in college football? They've already lost 5 straight to Ohio State under Harbaugh, 8 overall, so clearly there's a talent gap there. If Alabama's freshman and sophomore team of backups can beat Michigan starters, what in the world will Michigan fans have to look forward to next season and beyond? So that is the matchup, January 1st, 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC. We're getting close. I told you we had to hit this 6,000 number, or things could get really ugly around here for the Michigan Football Report. So we're only 81 away as we went live on this show. If everybody watching today subscribes that hasn't yet, we'll reach that by the end of the show. So help get us to 6,000 while we are live here Sunday afternoon, the Lord's Day. I stepped away from my family duties just to talk to you guys about this bowl game. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that big subscribe button right below the video. Help us reach that goal. Jim Harbaugh, 5th season as Michigan's head coach, got off to a wonderful start, absolutely crushing Florida 41-7 in his first season. But then the next 2 years, Michigan had dominant leads, or at least 2-score leads, in the second half against Florida State in a New Year's Six Bowl in 2016 season, the Orange Bowl, the Outback Bowl. They were up, 21-3 in the third quarter, somehow still lost, or 19-3, I'm sorry, in the third quarter, somehow still lost 26-19 to South Carolina. And then the Peach Bowl last year where Michigan set the record for players skipping the bowl game with 4, and also players skipping the bowl game who didn't actually get drafted with 2, Karan Higdon, Juwan Bushell-Beatty, Rashawn Gary, and Devin Bush. So Jim Harbaugh is on a 3-game losing streak. Michigan is on a 8-game losing streak to Ohio State, but 5 under Jim Harbaugh. 1-8 Harbaugh is against Ohio State and the bowl game, his last 2 games of the year. I think this is a big indicator of where this program will be going forward. If Michigan just lays an egg, doesn't even show up, I don't know what I think about 2024, this program. Make sure you guys get hooked up. We've got the deal of the day. If you're still out there looking for Christmas gifts, you got 17 days till Christmas. You better jump on it. You're not going to find a better deal than this. The Michigan Football Block M shirt, 60% off. Now it's only $12. Dylan, you better believe it. How about this one? The Michigan Football Jacket, half off, 50%. $32.50, chatsports.com/blue1. All these links we're going to put for you in the live chat here in a moment. If anybody can get that in the live chat, I'd certainly appreciate it. The stats and research team, I got it actually, no big deal. We're going to put this in the Facebook, the YouTube live chat. All Michigan football sale items, chatsports.com/blue. We'll put it in the live chat. Afterwards, I'll put it on Twitter. You can go down in the comments after the show is done being live, or the description to get these items. Don't miss out on sale items. chatsports.com/blue, up to 50% off on hundreds of Michigan items. Let's take a look at the Michigan football offense, how they ended the year now that the the conference championship season is over for the Wolverines. 402 yards of offense, number 68 in the country. 252 passing, 150 rushing, and averaged 33 points per game. Number 50, number 81, number 37 in the country. Passing offense really turned around second half of the season. Obviously, that helped the total offense and scoring, but rushing really was struggling all year long. Number 81 in the country. How about the defense? Don Brown's defense, fourth in the country. It finishes at 293 yards per game, 174 yards per game given up passing, and 119 on the ground. Good for number 23 in the country. Giving up 19.5 points per game. Good for number 18. Seems like giving up 56 against Ohio State didn't put too much of a dent into those defensive stats, but nevertheless, still a decent year on paper for Michigan football's defense. But I don't think anyone's happy with the future of this defensive team after Ohio State put an absolute smackdown on the Wolverines once again. Predict the score, guys. Give me your score predictions in the comments. We'll stick on this for a few moments. I want to know what you guys think. Predict this score. I'm going to make sure you guys see in the comments right now. Michigan versus Alabama. What do you got for me? I think we're going to find out more about where this game is going here in the next few days. Will Alabama have players sit out? Hell, will Michigan have players sit out? You could see 2-3 wide receivers sit out. You certainly could see a couple offensive linemen sit out. A defensive player or two. Could Josh Metellus? Could Lavert Hill? Could Khalil Hudson? I hope not, but I would be led to believe that you're going to, from Michigan's perspective, you have more to gain as a player if Donovan Peoples-Jones has 130 yards receiving and a touchdown or two against Alabama. That looks a lot better for me, I think, going to the pros than sitting out and having your team get their absolute butts kicked. But that's just me. I'm just saying. Let's take a look at the matchup. Alabama, Michigan, Saturday, January 1st, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern in Orlando, Florida. Interesting game. I think Michigan will actually probably have a pretty good contingent of fans. I'm sure Alabama will too. I hope it's not one of these games where the teams are just giving away their tickets down the stretch because people are not feeling it because a lot of players are sitting out. But the number 2 scoring offense in the country for Alabama. Their defense took a minor step back, but still the number 15 scoring defense in the country. The betting odds are out, though. The betting odds are out. And even though Alabama could have, as I said, I think they could have 10-plus players sit out this game, 10-plus starters that are going to the pro. No one's officially announced that I know of as we're going, been live for 10 minutes or so now. No one's actually said they're sitting out from Alabama's side or Michigan, but the Tide are still a 7-point favorite. I'm guessing if a bunch of players sit out for Alabama, this line could start slanting more towards Michigan. But heck, if you think Alabama players are going to sit out, jump on it right now. Bet the Wolverines +7. They're a 7-point underdog at BetDSI. Promo code GOBLUE. Get you a 120% deposit bonus. Just go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code GOBLUE. Put some straight cash, homie. I'm betting every single bowl game this year. I hope you guys will too. And if you do it, make sure you do it with BetDSI. Nothing makes bowl season more fun than sitting around your house with people you don't like, probably your family, drinking some beers and putting some cash money down on some sports. Get going with BetDSI today. Michigan versus Alabama. It's not always been pretty. It's not always been ugly. It's been a little bit of a mix of both throughout the years. Michigan got crushed in the season opener of a couple of top 10 teams. I think Alabama was number 1 and Michigan was number 8, if my memory serves me correct. Dallas, Texas, where the Cowboys play. And I remember standing, 10 rows back from the field in that game, an hour before the game started, and I said to myself and my dad, I said, there's not a single player on Michigan's team that could even make Alabama's too deep at that point. That team went on to win the national title. Michigan finished with 4 or 5 losses that season, 2012, lost 41-14. Tom Brady's last game as a Michigan Wolverine beat a top 5 Alabama team in the Rose Bowl 35-34 in the 1999 season. 1997, Outback Bowl, 96 season, 17-14 loss to the Tide. Then you're going to go way back to the 87 season, the 88 Hall of Fame Bowl, 28-24 win over the Tide. So 2-2 over the last 31 seasons against Alabama is the Michigan Wolverines. And Jim Harbaugh, there's a lot reputationally on the line for you. I think there's a lot going into this offseason. We all know Michigan likes to win the offseason national champions. championship every year, the headlines. Maybe they can do it positively with a friggin' win and not whimper into the spring with a lot of social media bluster like they have for the last 3 seasons. Now, before we take your questions, use hashtag Michigan if you want to get your questions on the show. Let's go to the Michigan final stats. If you haven't seen them, take a look at where the Wolverines' offensive players ended the season. Shea Patterson, 57% completion on the year. A big step back, 6-7% completion percentage step back from last year. But his other stats, 2,800 yards, a sizable jump from last season. He's right at where he finished last year, 22 touchdowns. Right around the same with 6 interceptions. Gets a few touchdowns in the bowl game. He will, of course, 1 touchdown goes over where he went last year. He needs 3 touchdowns in the bowl game to tie the Michigan single season record. If he throws 4, he would break that Michigan single season record. Let's take a look at the rushing leaders for the Wolverines. It was Zach Charbonnet. Despite being injured for much of the season and limited, Charbonnet led the team with 642 yards. Hassan Haskins, though, is I think the one that really came on and stole that starting spot in the second half of the season. 561 yards for him, though neither running back was really featured much outside of that Notre Dame game in the second half of the year. True Wilson ends his Michigan career with 221 yards this season, and then Christian Turner, who frankly I don't expect back on this team next year, 171 yards rushing. How about the receiving leaders? You've got the 3 players on the right of your screen: Nico Collins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Tariq Black. A lot of speculation whether they'll play in this bowl game, whether they'll be part of Michigan's football program going forward. And Nico Collins, Peoples-Jones might be eyeing the NFL. Maybe Tariq Black as well. Although, with him being an early enrollee before the 2017 season, I'm sure he's on path to graduate by May, so he may decide to graduate. Potentially could have another couple seasons if he gets that red shirt for 17 in another program. But the question for you guys is, do you care about bowl games? Give me a Y for yes, an N for no. Do you care about bowl games? Because it seemed to me the word on the street from Michigan Football Nation was, you don't care about bowl games last year when Michigan had Devin Bush and Rashawn Gary and Karan Higdon and Jawan Bushell-Beatty sitting out last season. It seemed that was the word you didn't care about them. I've always cared about bowl games. I get mad when Michigan lose them, and I get happy for weeks on end when they win them. So do you care about them? Yes. If you don't care about them, type no. I certainly do. I'm going to type a Y in the comments. Just putting that Y in there right now.